Hi everyone, this is Ellen Marie Francisco. Thanks for coming into my channel. Today I felt compelled to do a tea leaf reading for Lynette Hooker and see if I can figure out anything around her disappearance that may satisfy my curiosity. I'm going to see what I can see. I'm going to wonder what you can see. Come have some tea with me. I am not sure where this is going to go, and I have no way to verify any of the information I'm coming up with. I'm going to go ahead nonetheless. Well, that is an oogly googly picture to me. I literally see an eye and a face in that whole image there. I even see something that reminds me of earrings. I'm seeing decomposition. I'm seeing bones. That is amazing. What's left on the cup saucer, I interpret sometimes as information that has completed or something that's already happened. So I'm seeing this image now. I'm seeing an eye. I'm seeing a dark eye. And over here in the corner, I'm seeing what reminds me of a little bit of a cross between a mermaid and an angel hovering around there. I'm seeing a little dog. Yeah, I am seeing a dog. Bit of a misfit dog. Hard knocks kind of dog as well. Maybe hanging out in the streets. Crystal, I'm seeing crystals. Well, let's see. Sometimes it's good to turn it around and get a different view. Okay, so now I do see a guy right in the bottom of the cup, like a little muscle man flexing his muscles. And I'm also seeing a sense of, funny enough, I'm seeing a birthday hat on top of him. I'm seeing a fish that he's holding. It also looks like he's in an altercation or like a intense conversation. Let's see if I can position this better to take a look here. Seeing a poodle in here. So I'm seeing schools of fish around her, and I'm feeling, I do see this idea of the muscle man. Okay, I guess what I'm picking up on first of all is Brian Hooker and her relationship with him. I feel like I'm seeing him as taking up a major part of the cup here and strong arming her too. I feel like he really overpowered her, intimidated her quite a lot, and that she felt really small and little. I feel like she didn't have a lot that she could go on in many ways, that she did feel trapped. I think that in some ways she looked at him and made excuses. Well, he's got this armor around him, but underneath him is a good heart. But, it took her a little while to see the more grotesque parts of him. And I do think that he did, in some ways, he's twisted enough to have enjoyed some of the torture that he was involved in with her. I'm seeing a little girl. I don't know if you can see this. It's almost like right there. It's a little girl wearing blue jeans and just being just so little compared to this big beast, picking up like she's in the clutches of a controlling beast. Oh, suddenly I'm seeing an anchor as well, like a little hook anchor of sorts as well, coming out of the bottom of her. Also seeing a plane. All of a sudden seeing all these images. There's a plane going above. I'm seeing what I believe are some ancestors in here walking through the cup. Okay, what else do we see here? Colorful characters. Also seeing this ghostly face in here. When I'm looking at it, it kind of reminds me of like a scuba situation with bubbles around and trying to get that air thing in your mouth so you can breathe. Also seeing a policeman with a hat on, kind of seeing almost like this gumshoe, smoky bear kind of a thing. Oh, that also looks like I'm almost seeing visions of him as part of his army fatigues or whatever you call them. The stuff he'd wear to work if he were in the Marines. His fatigues of sorts. Yeah, and steely-eyed. I think that there's a real sense of, mm, yeah, looking the other way, saying one thing, doing something completely different, not being consistent at all. Let's see what else is in here. I did see a shark earlier, just kind of peeking out. I wonder if there's any kind of lily pads down there or anything like that, because I feel like I'm in shallow water and there are flowers nearby. I see somebody dancing in here or almost getting ready to, like they're waiting for the dance to begin. I feel like there's a chunk taken. I'm seeing two women in here, and both of them have a chunk taken out of their back. Here's one of them right there. And they look like they're dressed up and they're fancy a little bit and they're just going about their day. And here's this other thing I'm seeing. Gosh, I wonder if she loved dogs or something. I just see so many dogs in here, or if there's an area on the island where there are a lot of dogs around there. These ones seem to look healthy and fine, so I don't know what goes on down there with animals. Oh, goodness me. Let's see. Also seeing a couple crabs in here. I'm seeing somebody with sunglasses. So I'm getting this sense of he's like the, oh, I'll save you kind of guy. I'll come in, I'll come to the rescue. So I wonder if somehow she did go overboard and he was like, come, I'll help you. And then he just took that opportunity to drown her or something like that. I feel like he was big enough to overpower her, that if she did get overboard, that there would be a sense, especially if it were on that little dinghy. I think that he would not be able to, she would not be able to get back on it. I think that he would prevent her from doing that. I feel like it's a little combination of opportunistic meets happenstance, or yeah, it's like a little bit of planned and unplanned. And I do see the anger, I do see the flare ups, I do see this very volatile situation. I feel like he just sees things the way he sees them, and that's all there is to it. I feel like he would go on rants, and oh, she'd just have to quietly breathe her way through them. And also seeing these three women in here, they almost are dressed very similarly. I see so many women with long skirts in her cup for whatever reason. And they're sweeping through here, almost like they're on brooms and flailing cleaning equipment around. Okay, I'm seeing a boat now. Yeah, I still get a lot of good sense of other spirits. And I think she was a bit of a mermaid herself anyway, in the way that she swam a lot. Oh, and I guess, yeah, I can see images of her family or her daughter and another young child in here. Maybe that's her boyfriend. She's only an only child, so it would probably be I think it's the boyfriend. I think they had an affinity together. And that he was really welcomed into the family, stuff like that. I see almost like it's this steampunk chicken here too. Don't know where that's coming from, but she's in here nonetheless. I am seeing boots. I'm seeing cowboy boots several times in different with different people. I am seeing these hearts, and it's like they're falling amidst. They're just falling from the top of the cup towards the bottom. I'm seeing this crab again. I am seeing the fish. I do see that clarity through the water. And wow. Gosh, do I ever see a lot of spirits in here? I'll get a better picture of this somehow. I am going to try. Okay, that looks amazing. Okay, so let's see. Lots of faces in the side of the cup here. I have had that sense of Cupid's arrow in here a few times too. So I wonder if there is some motive that has to do with somebody else or a different love interest or something about somebody. I am also looking over here. I think it's going to take a little bit to see that there are more people that are aware of things that they're not aware of, that they don't really understand that they know things about how all of this happened, that they may have information without really realizing it, just like the guy who happened to take the photo of the water and the sunset around the time that they were at the pool, innocently enough. I feel like he lured her in some ways that were a little more enticing. I think that she did understand the dangers of being with him in close quarters, and for whatever reason, just felt like, well, I'll try. There is all this love underneath everything else, and maybe it'll work, and maybe we'll just keep trying, and all the rest of it, but also knowing there's no way, there's no possible way. It just doesn't make sense to stay. It's the volatility more than anything. I do see the water. Gosh, it's so interesting. And so many women. Yeah, I do not see any sense that she was swimming much. I'm seeing a sign almost like it's planted right in the dirt somewhere, and like a thumbtack kind of thing. X marks the spot, but it's not an X. It's more like a wood sign in the ground. I'm seeing birds. I'm seeing like a hawk. May have a significance for some reason. Also, I've seen twice a sense of a fetus. I don't know what to make of that. I feel like a lot of people warned her about him, or she saw a lot of warnings anyway. I feel like there's an interesting little angel in here who seems to be hovering around her in the days prior to this, hoping that almost like an angel of death I'm seeing seems to have been hovering around her a few days ahead of all of this. I feel like she did definitely have some warnings that it was a tough situation to get out of, and it's almost like, okay, just need to get to the next place, to the next place, to the next place, and then that'll be it. And yet, I don't feel like that was it. That didn't go the way it planned. I think she had more and more warnings. I think that she'd learned over the years to downgrade her own sense of feelings and information she picked up on. So even if she'd had any pre-warnings, or I think she would have just done what she was told to a certain degree, for lack of having to deal with a fight or anything like that. I don't know if either one of them was into horses, but I have seen a few horses in this cup. It's almost like he's got this savior complex or something, and the way that I would describe it with him is that he just likes to be the hero to some degree, but he isn't anywhere near a hero. I wonder if there's some kind of cave or some kind of thing that you can get a boat into that goes in under rock or anything like that. Some kind of narrow space, but you could still get a boat into it. I feel also like I think she wanted to leave him, and I think that somehow that came out on this trip a little bit more than she maybe would have wanted to admit, because of how close everything was and they weren't getting along. And I guess he drinks, and maybe, yeah, he just seems like somehow his lips get loose and they just whatever comes out of them. I guess if there are questions to ask, just amazed at how many women. There's an odd part of him that likes to see people suffer, which they must have had to get used to if they were living together. I think she really was trying to get away from him. God, there's so many women in here. I'm seeing a dark-skinned woman with a veil-like thing over her head, or head wrap, an orange shirt. Well, I feel like, and I don't know how this is possible, but if there's anything to do with her being in the water and him actually leaving her in the water, then I think somehow her feet were tampered with somehow. I do see a younger woman in here with a ponytail, dark hair, seems to be a young woman. I'm seeing the cross, like a Christian cross. I think he didn't want her to not be with him. I think part of it was that he was getting the sense that she was leaving. He could tell that something had shifted in her, that I feel like she thought that this would be a trip that they could take and hopefully maybe this time repair, or maybe hopefully this time try and do something and sort it out, or somehow it would be different. And yet I think she figured out that she really better just get out of there. She was planning for it. I think that she'd made some preliminary steps quietly. Somehow their bickering, or the back and forth power trip thing that he would do, triggered her a little bit more that day, and she didn't have as much patience with him, almost like she'd already dreamed about her freedom from him, making steps to separate or do some kind of a cooling off period or something like that. And I think that he just really, it was his way or the highway. Any veering from the plan was not a plan at all. So I think he ran interference in a bunch of things she'd been wanting to do before that, and something just lit up in her where I think she just slipped out. I think she just slipped it out of her mouth, like she was going to leave him, or that this time it would be serious, or that this time she would do it. And I think he was just so incensed. He really tried to strong arm her into staying, or not wanting to hear any of it, and not even want to discuss anything. And yeah, definitely the my way or the highway kind of energy with him. Yeah, I have to wonder if there wasn't a struggle. Like, I'm wondering, did they even get back to the boat? I almost feel like they got back to the boat on the dinghy. Whatever, the alcohol was into them. Lips were loose, things were said. He was cranky. She was a little bit, I don't know if she was homesick. It almost feels like she was homesick or something, even though it was beautiful and she loved sailing and nature. She needed, like, it's almost like she just needed a mall or something. She just needed to just have some normal Western world stuff. I feel like she was anxious to have a new beginning, that she dreamed for a new start, that she was willing to put the effort into a new start. And he had that sense of, how dare you, how dare you, how dare you go off plan, how dare you go off. I'm hearing this thing scheduled, almost like scheduled maintenance. What was that about then? Some kind of scheduled maintenance. I keep seeing these women that are missing chunks of them. So I would not be surprised if there were a violent altercation by what I'm seeing here. I almost feel like if there were some way that she could have gone overboard, could he have just thrown her overboard? I mean, even if they did get back to the big boat, I wouldn't be surprised. And then I just think it would have been hard for her to get back on the boat. I think he would have made it impossible for her to get back on it. Like, he's got this vengeance. He's got this terrible vindictiveness. Yeah. That's what I'm seeing on my first hits with that. I'm going to take a little quick look at the cards since they're... Oops! Oh, man. Every single one of them hit the ground. Wow. All right. Well, that says a whole lot to me. Well, I thought I was going to do a tarot reading. I think I'm going to leave well enough alone right now, and I'm going to do the tarot reading on another video. Come back for more. Thank you for subscribing. As I was editing this video, I did see a lot of other images. I saw him arrested. I saw him in handcuffs and a bunch of other things. So I'll get into that in another video. And I also have asked my twin sister to look at my leaves and tell me what she thinks. So I'm going to do that in another video. For whatever reason, I am compelled to continue. I'd like more answers, and I don't think we're going to get them from Brian Hooker unless we do the mediumship with him and we take it from there. So thanks for coming in. Have a great everything, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.